Welcome to Community Conversations. I am Miss Ebony J, Queen of Queens. Of course, I'm here to do the most for you. You're listening to 1230 The Buzz, your talk station, 101.5, 101.1 The Wiz, and 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. If you've never listened to Community Conversations before, welcome to the show. Here's where we come to talk about nonprofit organizations and the great, amazing things that they are doing to raise awareness for different causes right here in our community. And today I have in here with me the CEO and co-founder of the Sickle Cell Alliance Foundation, Miss Lisa. Miss Lisa, how do you pronounce your last name?
Meacham, Lisa
Meacham. Okay, well, I'm so glad to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, not only is she an advocate for sickle cell patients, but she's also a mother of a young adult who is living with sickle cell. So she knows firsthand how challenging living with sickle cell is. And that's why I wanted to have her on here today. You know, it's actual Sickle Cell Awareness Month. And so can you tell the listeners today about your foundation and how you help patients with sickle cell?
Yes, we were founded in April of 2014. We became a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We want to help families just live a better life while, not allowing sickle cell to control their life. We provide different services, scholarships for kids, and we also offer different assistance services to the different families that are directly connected to Cincinnati Children's Hospital and University of Cincinnati adult patient sickle cell clinics.
Oh, that's a blessing because I know it can get costly, right?
Yes, it's very costly. A lot of times families aren't able to, well, specifically the patient, a lot of patients aren't able to live a normal life by working a job and taking care of themselves. So they depend on their families to help them pretty much survive.
Now, I know that April is Minority Health Month, and I know that sickle cell impacts a lot of individuals of many races, but there are greatly impacted for African Americans. And so I hear a lot about African Americans having sickle cell disease. Can you tell us what sickle cell is and why it is viewed as like the Black disease?
Okay, well, sickle cell is the number one hereditary genetic disease. I'm going to say that again. It's the number one hereditary genetic disease. It's a blood disorder. And what happens is if your blood doesn't get enough oxygen, that makes your cells, instead of being round in shape, full, plumped, and moving properly through your body, your cells, your blood cells become crescent shaped. They're sticky, they're hard, and they get clogged in your veins. Anywhere in your body that blood flows, you can have a pain crisis. What that means is that those when they're crescent shaped, they just get stuck. And my daughter describes it as someone stabbing her in that same place over and over at any given time. And if the pain starts in one area, that doesn't mean it's going to just stay in that area. It moves all over the body when they're in the process of being in a pain crisis. They call it typically a Black disease because it primarily affects African Americans and people of African descent. 1 in 12 African Americans carry the sickle cell gene. So that's in the United States itself. But like I said, in Africa and other countries, people of African descent, they don't have, the medical treatment that we have here. And so things are not as well taken care of in those areas.
Are other minorities impacted by sickle cell?
Yes, Hispanic Americans from Central and South America and people of Middle Eastern, Asian, and Indian and Mediterranean descent, they all can be affected by sickle cell.
Now I gotta ask you this personal question, Ms. Lisa. Do
Mhm.
you think it because it's being labeled as a Black disease that this kind of affects like the funding for the research and the cure for sickle cell? Because I feel like I haven't heard anything about a cure.
Absolutely. African Americans are the minority. Even though people hear more things about African Americans in the news, we are still the minority. Therefore, when the disease is not affecting other people, they don't address it, or they
Right.
don't know to address it because they don't know about it. And a lot of times when I've specifically at health fairs and stuff, I approached other people to speak about sickle cell, they'll tell me straight out, isn't that a Black disease? And then I educate them and I let them know, that Hispanics and people of Mediterranean descent, Asians, are affected by sickle cell, but because they don't see that,
Right.
they don't know about it. And so they can't relate. And so a lot of times, through social media, I've even met other families that look like they are Caucasian Americans, but because they have those other ethnicities within their bodies, they have sickle cell. And so a lot of times I communicate with them and I use their pictures and put it on my social media and put it on, our Facebook page so that people can see other examples of people suffering with sickle cell disease.
Is there anything that someone can do to like prevent it, or is it just bound to happen because it's in two of your parents' genes?
So here's the thing, it can absolutely be prevented.
It can.
Yes, what people have to do is be aware of their status, whether or not they have the sickle cell trait. So luckily for us in Ohio, every child is born that's born have they do blood testing. So they do genetic testing when they're born. So
Okay.
now it didn't used to be like that. That just started in the 1980s. So anyone born before the 1980s could possibly have the trait and not even be aware of it.
Right.
You're aware, you know better, you do better. So that's why we went to high schools and we try and talk to the students and let them know, do you know whether you have the trait? They say, I'm not sure, or I think I do. I say, okay, well, the next time you go to your family doctor or your annual appointment with your parent, ask them if you have the trait. Tell them you'd like to know. Because if you know if you have the trait, you can make sure that anyone you partner with
Right.
has the trait. So it takes two partners that have the trait to have a child with sickle cell disease. This is a little bit of biology. So they have
Oh.
4 chance every child that they have to have the actual disease.
So I can have three kids, but only one of them may have sickle cell.
You can have 3 kids and all 3 of them have sickle cell. You have no control over that.
Oh wow. So it's
There
very
are
important when
families.
they say and ask those questions on your dates about the family history and what people, have in their life. That's why they're asking.
Exactly. Exactly. You have to know who you're partnering with. Exactly. Because it's not like if you have 4 kids, it's 1 in 4 kids can have the disease. No, each pregnancy has a 1 in 4 chance of
Oh
being
my
a child with sickle cell. And they could do an amniocentesis to see if that child has sickle cell before they're born. But then what are they going to do?
right. You already it's developed now.
Right. Right. So a lot of times that what doesn't happen in our community is um, a lot of planned pregnancies don't happen. A lot of times they're accidents or what have you. So you have to be mindful of those things. Of course, some things are out of your control,
Yeah.
but you have to be mindful and you have to know who you're partnering with and make sure, that you protect yourself or that you make conscious decisions about who you choose to have a child with.
We speaking real right here. This is
And
community
if our kids don't know,
conversation.
or if anybody doesn't tell them that, so if no one tells them that, it may not, you know, set off a light bulb in their head to know, that this could happen. This is possible.
It goes back to those conversations that you're having at home with your kids. Because
Yes.
like you said, I'm having these conversations in the schools now, asking them. So when I go home, I'm asking my mom, what's going on? Like, can I go to the doctor? Because again, you just want to be safe and not sorry.
Exactly. And a lot of times when we go to the schools and we meet the kids, some of them, because what I do is I kind of bribe them with Twizzlers. I take me a box of Twizzlers and I put it on my table and they come over, they like, can I have Twizzler? And I said, well, tell me what you know about sickle cell.
Right.
And either they know or they don't know. Some of them have family members with sickle cell. Some of them have family that have passed away from sickle cell. But even if they have those family relationships, they still may not know very much about sickle cell. Some of them thought that it was a form of cancer. So, even though it's been around for all of these years,
Yeah.
uh, we don't have a stronghold in our community or organizations that have been around with longevity to be able to continuously educate our children as well as our adults. But we're here and we're striving to do that. We're trying to fill in that gap.
I love it. I'm learning a lot today. I didn't know it was preventable.
Yes, absolutely.
This is 1230 The Buzz, your talk station on 101.5, 101.1 The Wiz, and 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. I am Miss Ebony J, Queen of Queens, here talking with Miss Lisa and is Metcham. She is the CEO and the co-founder of Sickle Cell Alliance Foundation. We're so glad to have her here today. Now, I was looking on your website, Queen, and I noticed that you all have a scholarship that you all give out.
Yes,
Tell us what's eligible and how do they apply?
well, the scholarship is specifically for um, students that are graduating that year from high school that have sickle cell disease, as well as students that are in any form of continuing education, meaning if they are in apprenticeship programs, they are in beauty school, they're in, maybe trying to be an electrician and they're not going to college. It's not a formal college, but they're in any form of secondary education are eligible to apply. And we're actually just getting ready to open applications April 15th for this year's application process. We are going to award one scholarship for $1,000 this year. And I'm so excited.
That is big.
Yes, it is. We've been doing it for at least 4 years now, and we are very proud of the students that we've awarded in the past. They have gone on to college. The pandemic kind of threw everybody for a loop, but
Yeah.
they've still been, doing online classes. They may need a computer, anything. And with that $1,000, we've been able to be a blessing to them, to assist in any of those funds that they may need up front.
Tell us again, when does it open up?
It opens up on April 15th.
Okay.
They can apply on our website, which is www.scafcincy.com. And they can apply right there on the website. They do have to be, they do also have to be treating with either the Cincinnati Children's Sickle Cell Clinic or the University Hospital Sickle Cell Adult Patient Clinic.
Only those two?
Yes. It's primarily for patients in the greater Cincinnati area. We are a very small organization. So before we can expand and reach out to other regions, we have to take care of Cincinnati first.
Correct. When is the deadline?
The deadline is going to be May 31st.
Okay.
So they have from April 15th to May 31st to gather the information needed because they do have to submit their grades. They do have to get a recommendation letter. There's a couple of things they have to do, as a part of that application process. So they are allowed some time to submit that.
I want to ask you this. Have you been able to notice any trends that impact young adults who are transitioning from pediatric care like Cincinnati Children Comprehensive Sickle Cell to adult facilities like the Sickle Cell Center at the University of Cincinnati?
I'm glad you asked that because that's kind of why we even began. It's what we call transition. They're transitioning from young adult care to adult care. And what happens is, once you turn 18, even though you go to Cincinnati Children's Hospital, you're an adult. You're a legal adult. So although your health insurance may be under your parents, or however your treatment is paid for may be through your parent, because you're 18, you're still an adult. So
Right.
you're only allowed to still continue to treat at Cincinnati Children's for a period of time. I think right now it's up to 21 years of age. But sometimes when young adults become 18, even though they're of the age of an adult, they're still not mentally ready to pretty much tackle this disease on their own. They still need their parents to help guide them, to help make sure they're attending their appointments. And sometimes people just don't have that support for one reason or another. They begin missing appointments. They're not going through their own regular routine that they were doing before they turned 18. And we've unfortunately seen that they start missing appointments, therefore they're not getting their routine treatment or blood transfusions that they may need to keep their body healthy. So they're starting to just appear in the hospital in the emergency room. So once they go to the emergency room, it's because they can't do anything for themselves any longer.
Right.
The pain
Right.
or whatever they're going through at that time is too excruciating, and so they're lost, kind of. If they're not going through a regular regime and not being followed by a hematologist on a regular basis to help them know, what they need to do and what they need to change to try and make things better, because the disease changes as you age. It doesn't stay the same. So what may have worked for them when they were 18 may not work for them when they're 19.
Right.
So if they're not continuously working with their hematologist and getting their treatment and following up on what needs to be done, it's kind of reactive instead
Yeah.
of being prepared for what may come.
And I know it's an up and down process. That pain is so hard for you to bear. I know you probably missed a lot of work or school and don't have fun. Well, you had plans. Now you got to cancel them because you're in bed. Do
Right.
you know of any community resources that can help with, financial challenges such as rent, mortgage, utility, foods, anything like that?
Well, what we've been doing is reaching out or partnering with other organizations in the greater Cincinnati area. And we have that information on our website. So if you stay connected to us through either our website or our Facebook page, you can get that information. You can also always email us through our website to find out if we have any resources. And if we don't, we'll attempt to find some for you
Yes.
and connect you with the proper organization that can help you with what you're facing at that time.
I'm glad to know help is available because that has to be the most complicated of it all. Like you have a job, things have been going great, and then today you wake up and it's painful. You can't do what you need
Exactly.
to do. I don't want to imagine that.
Exactly. And um, sometimes people think all sickle cell patients, they get on Social Security. Well, Social Security is available for some. It's not automatically available to all. And even those that do get Social Security, it's only $749 a month.
A month.
Did you hear me? $749 a month.
They can't do nothing with that. Half the time, don't they spend that on the medicine and stuff?
Well, if they get Medicaid pretty much can take care of the majority of that.
Okay.
But when you think about rent, a one-bedroom apartment, you can't get a one-bedroom apartment anywhere for less than $600.
That's what I was about to say. That's rent itself.
So they have to um, live with someone, live with a family member, mostly parents. A lot of parents allow their children to still stay with them, and they may help with something or they may not, whatever that family chooses to do. But there are some patients also dealing with homelessness.
I know.
And trying to survive, but they're struggling.
And it's a struggle, especially when you outside because the weather is so up and down. That affects your body.
And as African Americans, we are a prideful people. And a lot of times we don't know how to ask for help, or we don't want to ask for help.
Correct.
And so we don't. So they may not tell their social workers, or they may not even reach out to us. But if we don't know that you need help, then we can't help you
At all.
So what we suggest and what we want to drive home is reach out to us. Go to our website, go to our Facebook page and reach out to us and let us know if there's something you may need help with, and we'll try our best to assist you.
You have questions, you need support. This is the place. This is who you want to call, because they are doing what needs to be done. The Sickle Cell Alliance Foundation is providing services, resources. If you need to cry, a shoulder, again, she's a parent of someone with sickle cell themselves, so she understands exactly where you're coming from, your point of view. And so, as you can see, this is something that she's totally passionate about. I'm so glad you was able to come talk to me today, Miss Lisa.
Thank you for making time for us and bringing some more awareness to sickle cell.
No problem. I want to ask you this before we go. We got 1 minute left. Are you all doing the sickle cell walk this year?
Yes, make sure people continue to check our website. They can also make donations through our website and through our Facebook page. And they can also list us that they're community partner with Kroger. And Kroger will make donations just based off your purchases that you make.
Yes.
So website, check our Facebook page, and you'll be connected with all of our information. On our website, you can sign up for our email listing. And then that way you'll get our newsletters and you'll find out about current events.
Share the website one more time.
www.scafcincy.com.
It broke up, so one more time.
www.scafcincy.com. That's scafcincy.com. The initials for Sickle Cell Alliance Foundation.
Thank you again, beautiful, for coming in. If you have anything come up, you need to get some more awareness out, something special, you need to be, get the information out to the people, just let me know, okay?
Certainly, I will. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. This is Community Conversations on 1230 The Buzz, your talk station, 101.5, 101.1 The Wiz, and 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. If you would like to be a guest, send me an email, msebonyj@radio-1.com. See you next week.